What's up out there? So if you are working on the depths of fear and you're trying to figure out how to beat this guy, here's how to get it done. I sat down and figured it out last night and worked on it. I'm going to go over the gear that I'm using and how I've gotten here. You can see my levels. We're at 37 attack, 43 strength, 34 defense, 41 hit points, and 34 prayer. So also I'm running 44 Slayer. That's going to matter because of the gear that I'm using. But this fight looked a little scarier than it actually is, and somebody pointed out something to me about the way this fight runs. So if you're worried about dying in this, you'll notice that I have a mod that shows the enemy's max hit in yellow, this little yellow line, and my auto eat threshold in blue. So when it crosses over the line, you'll see that it turns my life bar from green to yellow, indicating that it's probably going to kill me. We'll get into that attack here in a second, but if you're worried about it, there is this illusion skill, or this illusion prayer, that items are not lost on death. I let this run last night. This fight, I kid you not, took almost an hour. I let it go. I checked it at like 40 or 45 minutes and it was still chugging. So then I checked it a little bit later and it was finally done. So what I ran for a while was Vanish and Endure for prayers. You can see that I'm running Ferocity and Cruelty today. These give you 40% melee max hit, 10% melee critical hit chance, and then this one gives you 50% melee max hit, 50% melee accuracy rating, and 25% magic evasion. So these do a little bit more DPS, and it's coming along a little bit faster. I don't know, I logged out of this 20-some minutes ago, 25 minutes ago or so. I started the fight, logged out, and worked on another video, and then I'm just now checking back on it, and we're getting decent progress. Yesterday, when I was more defensively oriented, it was taking a little bit longer, so take that what you will. I was running the Fear Potion with a chance to ignore fear. It didn't really make all that much of a difference. What fear does is slows your attack interval down horribly. So that's the reason you want to avoid it, but it doesn't actually have, there's 3.75. I probably got fear on me right now because normally I'm at 1.5. So let's talk about the big scary monster over here and what the problem is. If you look at the regular fight, all the Confusion Wave, Explosive Pulse, and Fearmonger, none of these are really outside of my auto eat. My auto eat's at 38,000. This is only 19, 12, and 23. The big scary one is Dreadful Gaze. Now, if you read this, and I glanced at it yesterday, and I was like, I'm a little leery of that, which is why I say you could run the Illusion Prayer if you're worried about dying. But somebody put it in a comment to the video I put out yesterday for Ancient Relic mode, that this is what it says. An avoidable attack that deals 75% of your current hit points as damage 5 times over 1.2 seconds. So I was thinking that the reason I wasn't getting killed by this was that my attack interval was faster than what his was. So I'm at 1.5 seconds, he's at 3.6. So he's fairly slow and I'm a little quicker. I know there's times that I slow down a little bit or I get stunned or whatever, but I can recover usually in the window between when I get hit with it and when he does the follow-up, because I'm almost half the time of his attack. I thought maybe that was what the problem was, or what was helping me, which might be helping out a lot because now I'm attacking almost twice as fast. So for every one action of his, I'm recovering and out of the stun or, fixed off and doing well. However, if you read this, it's an avoidable attack that deals 75% of your current hit points. So if you're lower in hit points, it's going to do a lot less damage, and it's only going to do 75%. So it's never going to hit you for the full life that you have. So that's why today, this is the second time that I'm running this. That's why today I'm running Ferocity and Cruelty as prayers, is because I don't think he's going to kill me. I'm well within my auto eat. It's the one thing that's a scary one, which is this, but it's only going to do 75% of my life. So the less life I have, the less it's going to do. And then it's eventually going to hit the auto eat, trip and go over to the other side, and then we're good. So I think that's what you're looking at right here. He's not hitting me. I'm healing. And then whatever he had went away and it's back to normal again and I'm not taking damage. So let's look at the gear that I've got. I'm using the Weaver's Amulet in the passive slot because this has a chance to apply slow, so it's going to slow him down beyond what he normally, slow him down a little bit further, which I like. And it slows him down by 1 attack turn. And then when hit by an attack, 100% chance to apply Toxin when hit by an attack. So I think that's additional DPS because you can see that thing ticking off over here. There's that Toxin kicking off. And I'm also using the Blighted Claw, which does Blight. And every once in a while, I think there's Blight. We got Laceration with stuff from the skill tree. That's coming off of there. I'm using Blighted Claw with Slash right now. I don't think it makes much of a difference. If you look at this, the stab, slash, and block bonus are all the same, and it's got the same attack interval. So it's basically whatever you're working on. I'm working on strength skill right now, so that's kind of what I'm parked on. So between these two, you're giving him Toxin and Blight. There's the Blight kicking off in there. Less max hit, and this helps the max hit. This makes him less accurate and more likely to take damage. So that's a good combination there. I've got the Smog Fiend cape on. This has 3% abyssal resistance. The Agile gem to bump up the speed so that I keep us going as fast as possible. We've got the Soul Harvester gloves. There's the red gloves that you get from the first area. There's also these blighting gloves. These have 2% abyssal resistance. These have 2% abyssal resistance. I was putting these on for the soul points gained. You could easily put these over here, these blighting gloves on, and these might be better because they'll have more effective or more chance to apply blight. They have the same abyssal resistance though, so swap out however you want. Just if you can, you want to upgrade from these, the Woeful gloves, because these only have 1% abyssal resistance. So I made sure to put either the blighting gloves on or the whatever these other ones were. I've lost them now. The green things, the Soul Harvester ones. The Soul Harvester ones won't do any additional damage or anything like that, where the blighting ones would. So these would probably be recommended. But I don't know. That's what I was running yesterday when I had that. I am running the Abyssal Slayer helmet and the Abyssal Slayer plate body. This is at the Ruiner level. So once you... I don't remember have I actually leveled this up past? I better check that because it doesn't say I need to complete anything. I don't want to give you the wrong information. I don't think I've upgraded this since yesterday, and I don't think I had beaten this at the time. I think this is what I'm trying to explain here is if you look at this Slayer helmet, it's got 11% abyssal resistance. If I swap that out to this Gloomite helmet, which is the second best one that I have, this has only got 9% abyssal resistance. So you're actually adding a decent chunk of abyssal resistance with the Slayer gear. And I believe this is upgraded with the completion of the Depths of Decay. I don't think I've upgraded with the Depths of Fear yet. I think that's what this upgrade is at here. I think I could upgrade these to the next level, but then I would need to beat the next dungeon, I think. If not, these would be one level less than where they're at, and just use Gloomite, because the rest of this stuff is fully upgraded Gloomite. I did take the time to get the Petrifying Shield and the Petrifying Ring. I thought the Fear stuff was going to be a lot more important. This has 6% abyssal resistance. The ring has 3%, which is a little better than the other rings that I was using. But both of these have the chance, well, this has a chance to apply fear for 1 turn when hitting, and this one has 20% chance to ignore fear, and another additional chance to apply fear and stuff like that. But this boss has 80% chance to ignore fear, so he's probably not going to see that all that often. However, these do have better abyssal resistance than the other stuff that I had. I'm running Hinder Scrolls. I got like 1 million of these things, 10 million of them to be exact. And then down here, I'm running Abyssal Minotaurs. I don't think I have anything else to run for a synergy. We're doing the Undead enhancement for increased global, or chance to double items globally, melee max hit, and accuracy rating per turn. And then on this one, I've got the Dragon enhancement for 2% chance to apply burn. Like that's the only thing that looked like it was interesting to fit. The jewel things down here, swap out as you want. The tablets, use whatever fits on that. The gear is basically how to get through this. And I think the biggest key to this is once your auto eat is good for all these other attacks, you can pretty much just write Dreadful Gaze off. It's not going to kill you. That's the one you can probably ignore. Again, though, if you're worried about it, you can use this one prayer, illusion, and that if you do die, you won't lose anything. Now, if you're in hardcore, you don't want to die. But anyway, that is all I have for this video. You know, I guess I would add, if you're curious to what I'm running the Molten Peak, so I've got chance to apply burn and ignore burn and frost burn. Let's see, what else do we have here? These are the agility obstacles that I've got selected. Basically, it's probably your typical combat suite if you go in here and look at the Melvor side of things. So you've got pipe climb, mud dive, cliff balance, rocky waters. I took water trap here because it's got the skill and mastery, which I don't care about in abyssal stuff. Raft building, water jump, ocean rafting. We've got pipe maze, which may or may not apply. And then actually it's got negative to doubling loot and combat. I probably want to change that. Rune crawl, balance trap, which that gives a 5% chance to double items globally. And then we've got forest climb, waterfall crossing, pillar of combat, and elite pillar of conflict. For the abyssal realm, not really much for combat. This is all stuff that's like non-combat stuff. I didn't find much. There's the tier 6-3, which has got some accuracy rating and stuff like that. But the rest of this is kind of unimpressive. But anyway, that is how I've gotten through this fight. You need to have a lot of food if you're going to let this idle. I'm probably going to let this complete. And we've been chatting here for, I don't know, 12 minutes, and we've made, a quarter of a health bar of progress. So this one takes a while. I'm going to set this thing on AFK and be done with it. So anyway, that is how you get through the depths of fear, or at least how I've done it. And I don't know that this is necessarily the most recommended or the, how you say, most efficient, but this is how I completed it yesterday. And I basically took this fight, went into this Fear Slayer area and just ran Fear Slayer stuff all night, left the build the exact same way it was, came back in here, started this and recorded it. So I've not made any changes. I made that mistake with Throne of the Herald. I would go and put gear from after this into it, and I don't believe I've done that. I believe I had all this gear. I don't think I've changed anything. I think I got lazy and just let it sit. So this should get you through the first time. This may not be the best way to idle this thing and get many times out of it. You need to beat this 10 times to unlock some whatever. I would probably come up with something much better to idle this with, but this setup should get you through the first time. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.